What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's down 0.66%, nothing overly crazy today. 226 the low, 231 the high, somewhat low volume as well. So 35.2 million shares being traded, 142 is the average. Most of the volume is actually coming from algorithmic trading because you can kind of see both on the secondary market and the dark pool, big money's not really doing all that much. First thing though, you did see a nice push higher. So Lucid did want to move higher. So it had a high of that 231. Regrettably though, shorts were fairly active. So at the time of doing this video, shorts are increasing 2.53 million shares, 31.7% of the free float is being shorted. So shorts again are strategically hitting Lucid. And you can see from this teal line right here, first thing, they are the culprits on what killed this momentum. And I've been covering Lucid for a very long time, and normally whenever Lucid does get very close to the 50-day moving average, shorts tend to get fairly active because they do want to kill Lucid's momentum to avoid it getting above that 50-day moving average. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what is happening today, a little bit more of a back and forth, but overall a pretty quiet day. No substantial data points or anything. You're seeing some articles already coming out about CPI, so CPI is going to be a big deal, potentially a good catalyst as well to really push Lucid and just the broader market to the next leg up. In Lucid's case, above that 50-day moving average. Official news, nothing coming out from Lucid today, no SEC filing, so it is just kind of piggybacking off of the broader market and as well as shorts. A couple of things did come out that I wanted to share with you, not official of course though, meaning from Lucid, but there was this. So Nick, who is the head of communications at Lucid, did say that to tune in to Bloomberg TV Live for an interview with Mark, and this is going to be at the Panasonic Battery grand opening in Kansas. So most likely the interview is going to be surrounding tariffs, partnerships that Lucid does have with American entities and things along those lines. It does look like a pretty big event behind the scenes, but nonetheless, this as well could be a pretty good catalyst. Only negative about this is that I kind of popped over here and I was watching it. I couldn't really see exactly time frame every so often, and it does show the times and upcoming things. It didn't show exactly when the interview is. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of record it and see it and all that fun jazz. If not, maybe they have it somewhere else, but this could be a pretty good catalyst depending on what is stated. Aside from that though, the only thing I wanted to bring up was this posted by Lucid Oasis. And so I know a lot of people, including myself, kind of were saying that Lucid's numbers could have been a little bit better, but nonetheless, in Q2, they did do 2630 from this. All this data is via Cox Automotive sales. And so based on this information, Lucid was the best in its class for Q2. So Tesla Model S, 1435, Porsche, 1064. And this is something that Peter and also Mark have brought up, how Porsche is a big competitor and BMW and whatever. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good thing. I know, again, a lot of people are overly critical on Lucid, myself included, but this is a pretty good different way to view it. So let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes down to the options, kind of low volume, so it does match with the overall common stock, but 330,000 in calls, 51,000 in puts, 56% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So big money clearly is not really doing that much, but those individuals that are doing options right now are maybe anticipating a little bit more of a further pullback. From the bulls, you see a pretty much consensus for it to be above 250 for the foreseeable future. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $2. There's not really much puts going on, so it's hard to kind of analyze that, but I think just given everything, there's a certain level of optimism. Aside from that though, with it right now at 228, it is currently right below this R2, so 229 is going to be a key pivot. In best case scenario, Lucid does close above that, really continuing some good momentum. Thus, 237 would be the next kind of point to watch for, but 229 for today is going to be that key pivot. So just watch for it ideally to close above that. If not, then that will turn to resistance. and then 224 will be a strong support. So on a technical standpoint, just kind of watch for that. Aside from that, there hasn't been any new analyst ratings. So we did have that string of ratings that came out last week, roughly 4 of them, I believe, or 5 or whatever it was. Most likely, I don't anticipate any new ratings to come out up until their earnings, which is slated for August the 5th, unless there is some good catalyst that is brought up in this upcoming interview today. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Aside from that, I have been monitoring just to see if there's any changes to any estimates, because as I've explained in the past, analysts can change their estimates to key metrics like earnings per share, revenue, and whatever else without changing their official price target. So I do monitor a lot of this behind the scenes to see if there's any changes. So far there hasn't been any, but most likely in the couple of weeks leading to the earnings there might be. So just stay tuned for that. Aside from that, no articles or anything, so it's just piggybacking off the broader market. Lucid is really wanting to pound at that 50-day moving average for the last like 5 days. It has been really just hitting it hard, and on a technical standpoint, this is very isn't normal. Normally what does happen is a stock hits a resistance point, and then if it does fail, which it did in Lucid's case, you consolidate and then try again. Lucid has honestly just been pounding at the door. Hasn't really been working all that well, but 234 is going to be that key pivot, and that's that 50-day moving average, and then 237 is going to be that 100-day moving average. Very tight-knit resistance. At the same time, the reason why shorts are doubling down is because they do not want it to get above that super trend, because that does and will change the dynamic of Lucid. You can kind of see when Lucid does kind of really move up, you have algos working on your side. It's easy for Lucid to really move higher. Shorts know that, so this is why they're pretty much throwing everything they have at Lucid over the last couple trading days. So just watch for 234. That's going to be a key pivot. And then on a macro standpoint, with a lot of big data coming out this week, looking at stochastic RSI, it is considered relatively overbought. So the first sign of weakness, you could see a little bit of a pullback. But let me know your thoughts on Lucid. What's your viewpoint on this upcoming interview? Do you think there's going to be any big things stated from that? And what's your kind of general thoughts on shorts continuously just hitting Lucid? And what do you think could be kind of some resolution to that? Do you think it's just ultimately Lucid hitting profitability, whether that is 2028, 29, 30, or whatever else? Or do you think it's maybe some other thing? So what's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.